Hi Aquarius, this is Leah Fresh Astrology. We are looking at April 2018 and boy, you've got, just looking at your chart, you've got that Uranus right down there on your Coeli. That is the bottommost point of the chart. It's one of there are four angles in a chart that are more pivotal timing points for a person, and you've got it right down there, this huge moment in time where you kind of cross over, as it were, into a new phase. It's like a new beginning somehow, heralded by this Uranus about to, and that's the key phrase, about to cross over. It won't quite do it in April, but boy, everyone's feeling that this big thing needs to happen in their lives. Like they're wanting to move. So you may want to move. You may want to shake something up in your family, make some big changes in your family. But everyone's chomping at the bit for some change in certain areas. And yours has to do with family, home, commute, house, property, something to do with that. And you're just feeling it very keenly. And Uranus, it's like so close. It feels like it should be happening already, whatever it is. Or maybe it's just this big, fresh new start where you just want to totally reinvent yourself. Something like that could be going on too. And it just feels like everything is slowing down and all these like things are happening to slow it down. And then there's that feeling of frustration that can come up. Everyone's feeling this in April. So there's no really preventing that dynamic with all these planets in retrograde and Uranus being just poised. You know, it's like there's a big play going on, which life is but a stage. So it's like there's this big play going on with all the planets, and Uranus is just like standing in the wings, ready for its role, ready for its part in Taurus. But it's like standing there, and it's just, it's that stage nervousness of, I'm about to go on stage, something's about to happen, but just having to wait there in the wings. And that is happening for you in this area. There's a little bit, there's a theme of school and learning and maybe teaching. So learning, teaching, school, neighborhood, house, home, family, lots of changes going on here. And it's, for a lot of people, it's just like it just can't happen soon enough. And a lot of people maybe expected that it would happen sooner, that something would happen sooner. And it just hasn't happened yet. But that doesn't mean it's not going to happen. All these changes, like Uranus, you can't stop Uranus. I mean, barring some kind of huge space event or it just gets blown up, I don't know how. Uranus is going to keep moving. It is going to make its entrance in mid-May into Taurus. There's stuff that we can't stop, the momentum of some of the stuff that's going to happen. So a lot of the things you set in motion here they're in motion. They won't stop. The momentum is too large. So whatever you've begun and you're waiting for it to take hold and impact your life, it is going to happen. It is. Maybe not, probably not in April. But, you see, like, you're setting up your domino. I love to talk about dominoes. Dominoes, if you don't know, it's like this game. And they're these little tiny bricks that you stand on end, but they're very narrow. And you set them up in patterns, and you tip the first one, and it just makes all of them tip in line. Those are dominoes. I've been asked, what are dominoes? But it's like you've been setting up your dominoes, and maybe, and it's like you're trying to tip that first domino so the chain reaction occurs. Or maybe you did tip the first domino and then suddenly you're in a slow motion movie and it's like, dong, and they're just slowly, it's like, I thought the dominoes, if I tipped the first domino, it would go zzzz, and then whoosh, there'd be this thing, this event, this change, whatever. And suddenly you're in, like, time has slowed down to just like, bam, and just each one is just in painful slow motion, hitting the next, and you're not getting to the end the way you thought you would. It's just that feeling of what just happened, my life just slowed down so much, or things are just going so slow. That it's just, how do you contend with that? How do you want to contend with that? So some options are just waiting. like, for example, if you're trying to sell your house or you're trying to find a house and you've been banging your head against a wall to sell your house, you put it on the market, you've been really aggressive about it, you did everything right, and it's just not selling. The clock is ticking very slowly, and you're like, I will never sell my house. This will never sell. Why? Oh my God, woe is me. What will happen if I can never sell this house? And that's not really what's going on at all. It's just the feeling of that. What's really going on is you are going to sell your house. It's just not happening in your time frame. And sometimes we have very unrealistic time frames. I've had friends, and I myself have been in the housing market where you put your house on the market, and then like 2 weeks later, they're like, oh my God, it's just not selling. 4 weeks later, oh my God, what a mistake. I should have waited till, and just all this like craziness that goes on in the mind. And you've had your house on the market for 2 weeks, 4 weeks. I mean, that's nothing. That's nothing. And then soon thereafter, they sell and there's like a bidding war. It's just what we do to ourselves in our mind. So we could be playing some mind games during April where we're convinced that something's slow or not working when really it is. Keep that in mind. Whatever it is that you start feeling that way about, keep in mind it is actually working. The momentum's there. It's going to happen. It's just not happening maybe in the story in your head isn't happening the way you thought. Jupiter is in your career zone, so if there's some big career changes, they are lucky. And they will happen. Jupiter is retrograde, so just keep that in mind too. Jupiter is retrograde, and so it can feel like wonky somehow, off key, or the timing could feel weird, or space-time could feel kind of warped. I don't know. However it feels to you, you'd have to tell me. But just have faith that things will happen in the time they're supposed to happen, and for some reason a lot of stuff's going to happen mid-May and things will really speed up after that. So just have faith in the process. Venus begins the month down in the area of the house and home, so there is something going on there. Sometimes if you're not buying or selling or renovating or sprucing up your home, sometimes this could be a person who comes to visit, like a Venusian presence. Maybe you, so that could be, somebody could come stay with you, live with you. Somebody from the past comes back into your world. So somebody that you knew a long time ago, maybe from when you grew up, or an old family member, you get back in touch. Something like that could occur. But it definitely bodes well for anything you are trying to achieve in this home area. Even if it's just about relationships. Like if you want to reconnect with somebody from the past, an old friend, even a sibling, or maybe you haven't talked to your mom or parents in a long time, or an aunt or an uncle, or just an old friend from high school or something. If you want to reconnect, this is a great time to reconnect with people from the past. And then people may just come in, you may not be seeking it out, but people with all these retrogrades could just float back into your world, surprisingly somehow. So people from the past coming back, that's another theme, especially for you. And that is about it. Just the main thing with April is just managing that nervous tension about something you're excited about, just managing that to keep yourself sane. So suggestions, I don't think I've given them to you yet, but suggestions are either just stop, don't press, don't push. Oh, we talked about the housing market and just not to press so hard. Another is just to keep yourself busy, reviewing contract language or sales language, like maybe the way you're pitching the house. And it may not be a house. I'm just using that as an example. Be mindful of that when I use an example like a house or a baby, it's not going to be that for everybody, but I'm telling you what the energy, how it could work out. You could substitute the word house with something else. Writing project, blog, you could substitute that, like just keep working on your blog, keep working on your writing project. keep working on your schoolwork. Just keep your head down, keep doing the tiny little steps, and that will get you through the month too. All right.